Tyler Mulvey.
And I'm Caitlin Scott.
A South Jersey couple filed a lawsuit against Governor Chris Christie, declaring that the bill he signed into law violates their freedom of speech, as well as their freedom to exercise religion. The bill Christie signed bans gay conversation therapy on the grounds that a gay conversion attempt poses serious risks of health. The couple claims that their 15-year-old son is afflicted with unwanted gender identity disorder and has considered suicide. The couple refuses to release their names.
The Pittman Police Bureau will be promoting 2 of its officers next week. Hunter Moore IV will be sworn in as a detective sergeant, while Patrolman Jonathan R. Streeter will be sworn in as corporal. Borough Police Chief Robert Zimmerman said, quote, "Both gentlemen have earned the promotions to their respective ranks and have been leaders in many different aspects of the job. Their work ethic and commitment to my organizational goals has been second to none." Moore has been on the police force for 21 years, and Streeter has been serving since 2007.
This past Monday, Camden County Police arrested 2 teens aged 14 and 16 for their alleged possession of a loaded revolver. At approximately 3:10 p.m., officers Mark Lee and William Martin responded to a report on the corner of South 4th and Spruce Street that stated that the 2 minors were seen with a loaded weapon. The weapon was found with an H&R Model 923 revolver with 9 rounds, 7 of which were hollow point bullets. Both teens were charged with possession of a weapon, unlawful possession of a weapon, and possession of a hollow point bullet. They were committed to the Camden County Youth Detention Center at Lakewood.
This past Wednesday was a big election day for New Jersey. In addition to the governor incumbent, Chris Christie, getting reelected to the position, Stephen Sweeney, Democrat of Gloucester County and no stranger to the Glassboro area, was reelected to the state Senate in what is said to be the most expensive race in the state. With the majority of the plus $3 million budget belonging to Sweeney, Sweeney held off his opponent, Nikki Trunk, Republican out of Union County, in a large margin accredited to his super political action committees, discrediting Trunk for her tax break that was meant for farmers.
Congratulations to everybody that won. I feel like I'd be so scared the night before.
That's what I was thinking. It's gotta be nerve-wracking.
I don't know how they sleep knowing that they're running for such a big office.
It is. That's a huge position, so congratulations, and we wish you all the best.
Now let's go to Laura Finelli to see what's going on in Hollywood.
Thanks, Tyler. Nasty split after nasty split, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson may be getting back together again. The pair was seen together at Pattinson's home in Beverly Hills, about 5 months of separation. After dating for 3 years and breaking up in the midst of Stewart's cheating scandal, the Twilight co-stars are in contact. Pattinson's Jeep followed Stewart's truck until paparazzi made him turn around and go home. Stewart shared her thoughts by flipping them off. Screaming fans lined the red carpet as Chris Hemsworth appeared for the premiere of the Marvel superhero sequel, Thor: The Dark World. In this flick, God of Thunder Thor takes on new evil and has more romance with Natalie Portman's character, Jane Foster. Portman was not present, but Tom Hiddleston, who plays adopted brother Loki, enjoyed the hype. Foreign sales reached $100 million before the film even released domestically. Katy Perry has become the most popular social media personality, surpassing Justin Bieber in the numbers. Currently, the Roar singer has 46.55 million followers on Twitter and 59.27 million likes on Facebook. Perry offered advice to other celebrities, suggesting that social media is not the place to try and debunk rumors. While Perry is receiving lots of internet love, she admits to the occasional spelling or grammar mistake. The rumors circulating that Lea Michele will get her own show as a spin-off of Glee are confirmed to be false. The hit show about a high school Glee club is nearing its 6th and presumably final season. Viable possibilities include focusing this season in New York City or following Kurt on a gay rights mission to Russia. With original characters set to graduate and the death of Finn still stinging, Glee's last season is sure to excite. Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus both explained their latest tattoos. Gomez has kept hers hidden for a while, but has her favorite Bible verse inked on her right hip. Cyrus has some of her own new ink located on her right forearm. It is a rather large portrait of her grandmother. These former Disney stars continue to prove that they have grown up and are moving on, both in different ways.
I would like to talk about Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
You know, I'm actually rooting for them as much as it's a shame that she cheated on him and they're back and forth, but I'm really rooting for them.
No, I really hope so too. And if not, I am single, Robert Pattinson.
What do you think, Tyler?
I think that as long as she doesn't cheat again and he can really trust her, then I guess everyone deserves a second chance.
Absolutely do.
But if she cheats on him again,
Then no go.
he should freak out on her. In a non-violent way, of course.
I agree, I agree.
Camden County finds Operation Facial Scrub successful after identifying a woman who illegally obtained a driver's license. Haiti Gonzalez, age 45, was arrested last Thursday after using another woman's social security card and birth certificate to obtain a license from a Deptford Motor Vehicle Commission Center in 2010. Authority used facial scrub software, that facial recognition, to capture those obtaining driver's license illegally to identify the suspect. Introduced in 2011, facial scrub has led to the apprehension of 38 criminals.
Thai ferry capsizes. In Thailand, 6 people died after a ferry carrying tourists capsized near a beach resort. The ferry, which was overcrowded, tipped over Sunday afternoon. Of the 6 dead, 3 were Thai, 2 were Russian, and 1 was from Hong Kong. Of the 12 injured, 5 were foreigners. It is believed there were over 200 people on the ferry. One tourist said, quote, "Here's what I saw. Waves, a 3-decker vessel, and a few smaller boats. It all reminded me of the scene from Titanic. People in life jackets and without floating on stuff."
Brazil's spies. After criticizing the Americans and the NSA, a news report came out saying that Brazil conducted espionage as well. Brazilian Justice Minister José Eduardo Cardoso said, quote, "I see the situation as completely different. That is, interception of date, interception of phone calls, intercepts that affronts Brazil's sovereignty," end quote. Reports show that Brazil's spying pales in comparison to the NSA spying. The spying Brazil is accused of took place a decade ago, and in addition to being legal, it accords to Brazilian laws.
Taxing marijuana. Voters in Colorado last year legalized recreational marijuana. On Tuesday, Colorado legalized taxing it with 65% support. Brian Vincenti, a proponent of the tax measures, said, quote, "The passage of Proposition AA today completes the historic process of regulating and taxing marijuana in the state of Colorado. The 15% excise tax will go towards school construction. The Colorado Legislative Council predicts $70 million of additional state tax revenue next year." Mason Tevert, one of the activists in legalizing the drug, said, quote, "Colorado is demonstrating to the rest of the nation that it is possible to end marijuana prohibition and successfully regulate marijuana like alcohol."
It's pretty interesting to be watching the world change and witnessing it firsthand, because people might look back on this and be like, wow, I can't believe marijuana was illegal one day.
Sure, big changes, and I think it could be good, I think it could not be good. There's 2 sides to it.
Of course.
Well, stay tuned, and more RTN news after the break.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Danse, balance sur la cadence, on lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Welcome back. Oldest marathon runner dies. The oldest woman in the 2013 ING New York City Marathon, Joy Johnson, died on Monday, the afternoon after the big race. The 86-year-old woman finished the 26.2-mile race just under 8 hours. Around mile 20 of the race, however, Johnson fell and hit her head. Her daughter, Donna Graffis, found her mother sleeping in her hotel room. She never woke up. Chris Weiler, a spokesman for the New York Roadrunners, said, quote, "We are going to miss her, and she was an inspiration," end quote. For the 25 years she has been lining up and finishing in 2014, it won't be the same without her.
Minimum wage rises for hospitality and transportation workers in and near the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Minimum wage went up to $15 an hour. The vote, 54% to 46%, increased the minimum wage, which currently is $9.19. David Rolfe, the president of the Local Service Employees International Union, said, quote, "People have been waiting for a really long time for this," he said. "For the first time in many years, the people who put fuel in jets might just be able to buy a ticket on one," end quote.
Two 17-year-old schoolboys who go by the name Roast Busters are bragging about their sexual encounters with girls on social media. Twitter, Facebook. They boast about how the girls are too drunk to fight back and name all of their victims. The site was created 2 years ago and has just surfaced to media within the past few months. Trying to arrest the boys, the police have monitored the sites carefully before the page is getting shut down. The boys haven't admitted to anything and no victims have stepped forward to testify yet, making this case even harder.
India launches a rocket to Mars on Tuesday. Taking off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center, the orbiter will take nearly 10 months to reach Mars. The ISRO is hoping to make new discoveries about the planet's atmosphere, as well as its minerals. The Space Research Organization also hopes to learn about the two moons Deimos and Phobos, the planet's methane gas sources, and all about its loss of water. Although there may be some challenges and complications along the way, in 2016, India wants to do their own manned spaceflight to travel to Mars.
I love all stuff outer space. It just intrigues me.
Technology today is crazy, and to think that they can not only make it to Mars, but then to research all about the planet itself. And I was amazed that it takes 10 months. I guess you automatically assume it kind of just shoots right there.
I feel like
Obviously
unmotivated
not,
to walk from my apartment to class, and these people are going to Mars. So maybe I take it as some motivation.
Sure.
Speaking of motivation, what's going on around our campus? I'm motivated to hear what Amber Mathis has to say.
Thanks, guys. Rowan's Hill Hill Theater reopens. Renovations in the theater started back in August 2012. President of the university, Dr. Ali Hushman, said that the renovations are not meant to change the theater, but instead improve on what it already has. The renovations up to this point have cost around $1 million. Donald Moore, Vice President of Facilities and Operations at Rowan, says the theater is open and ready for use, but more renovations are still planned. Rowan and Glassboro police are strictly enforcing traffic safety on Rowan University's campus. For the past month, warnings have been issued to the students of the university. Now, Police Chief Alex Fanfarillo says the warning process is over and tickets will be issued to anyone who violates traffic safety laws. He claims that the new strict enforcement is for education and not for money. A rally was held at Rowan University to raise minimum wage on October 29th. The rally was planned by members of the New Jersey Education Association and focused on raising the awareness of the delegation regarding minimum wage. Voting on the issue took place this past Wednesday. If passed, minimum wage will be raised from $7.25 to $8.25 an hour. Rowan students who use Macs may have recently had some technical difficulty. The latest update of the Mac OS X Mavericks can disable users from accessing their home pages, ultimately meaning that it makes it hard for a student to access things like their documents, pictures, movies, or the associate director of the network and system services says that Rowan believes that it is not a problem exclusively at Rowan and believes that it is a problem with the software update. He is confident that Apple will fix it soon. TED Talks are making their way to Rowan. TED Talks is a nonprofit organization devoted to spreading good ideas. Rowan students such as Sarah Clark is hoping that it will bring that same concept through the new club Prof Talks. The founders of the university organization hope that it will allow students to view different perspectives while remaining as a collective community. The talks will be recorded and featured on the Prof Talks website. The club aims at having Rowan recognized as a TED school. So what do you guys think about the new traffic tickets?
Hate it, because I got a ticket last week doing this show. Last week's show, if you didn't see it, was worth $75, because that's how much my ticket is now going to cost me.
Yeah, they've changed a lot of the parking lots and the rules of who can park in them and when. So
one more point. That parking lot was empty besides one other car, and I appealed it and sent a picture of my car with only one other car, and it still got rejected.
It's a shame.
So that's my opinion on it, in case you were wondering.
All right.
On Friday, the leader of the Pakistani Taliban is killed by a drone strike. Besides, Halkamuku Sharma found other militants are killed as well. This all occurs just 2 days after the government and militants discussed peace. According to Taliban commanders, when a vehicle entered the area around 4, the vehicle was being driven by Mashoud, most wanted on the terrorist list for the FBI. There's a $500 million reward for anyone who could give information on his whereabouts. Besides trying to murder and use explosives against the United States citizens, he is also thought to have been the cause behind the fatal attacks on Pakistan.
Twakal Carmen, a 34-year-old woman, receives the Peace Prize in 2011 and finally decides what she would like to do with all of her money. Carmen, a Yemeni activist and the first Arab woman to receive this prestigious award, will donate $500,000 to a fund for all of the men and women killed in the spring uprising in Iraq, as well as all of the families who were affected losing their loved ones. Carmen says, quote, "This is my duty to the youths who sacrifice for change and to build a Yemen founded on freedom, justice, equality, and good governance," end quote.
After months of accusations, Toronto mayor admitted to using cocaine. Investigators saw a 90-second video of Rob Ford smoking a glass crack pipe, recorded from a cell phone, so the pressure was on to tell the truth. Ford immediately apologizes, but assures everyone it happened about a year ago when he was intoxicated. But he is neither a cocaine addict nor a cocaine user. He also apologizes for any time he was drunk in public and says for, quote, "a lot of stupid things, all self-inflicted." Although Rob, he says there is no way he is resigning due to this incident. This probably would have been less bigger news, smaller news I guess would be the word I'm looking for, if he had just admitted to it right away.
I do respect him, though, for coming clean eventually.
But I think he did that only because there was a 90-second video.
And that could be true. That could be true. But I do think it was nice that he said, you know, he's not a user, he's not addicted to it. And I also like that he's not resigning from that. I commend his bravery.
Researchers found signs of autism in infants as young as 2 months old. They discovered that babies who are diagnosed with autism when they're older tend to avoid eye contact a lot. The lack of eye contact is only seen by special computers they use to track eye movement. It is not possible for parents to see it. This is the earliest that any research has ever found implications of autism. The researchers followed these kids up to the age of 3 when they were officially diagnosed with autism.
2 surgeons from University Hospital's Louisville have discovered a new knee ligament. As a result of their discovery, doctors can find a better way to treat ACL injuries. This came about when the 2 surgeons were looking into why some people still complain of their knees giving out after their ACL has healed. They looked back to the year 1879, where a French surgeon about this. Thanks to modern-day technology, the surgeons were able to prove that theory and realized that even a couple % of all humans have this extra ligament they have named anterolateral ligament, as well as their ACL.
A new study shows that a good night's sleep may be the way to help kids lose weight. In a 3-week study of kids between the ages of 8 to 11, it was discovered that the kids who had more sleep had less food in the day. This is not the cure to America's childhood obesity problem, but it can help. The researcher plans to do a longer study for this to see if it can have a much bigger effect in regulating how much food children eat. It's not clear why sleep affects how much you eat, but it is undeniable that it does.
Spain has gotten its first cases of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS. This is the first case ever found in France. MERS is from the same viral family as the deadly SARS virus that afflicted the world in 2002. It is thought to have come from bats originally. Another theory that is backed by strong evidence is that it came from camels that are used in the Middle East. 4 other countries in Europe have also gotten outbreaks of the MERS virus. These countries are Britain, Germany, which both had 2 people fall victim, and Italy.
Those types of things scare me, those viruses and things, because, I mean, how much can you really do to prevent it?
They sure do, and I looked it up, and it said that it was really strong, like cold-like symptoms, and that it could almost be like a pneumonia, but like deadly. So I hope that it doesn't affect too many more people.
See, my problem is I'll cough and I'll automatically assume I have this terrible disease. I'll be
Probably.
like, oh, I have a cold, I'm dying.
Actually, a lot of people do that, and I think I'm one of them too.
Hypochondriacs.
So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown. Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Bring this one.
Welcome back. Now let's go to Aris Theophanopoulos with all your sports news.
Thanks, Tyler. Jonathan Martin takes leave of absence. The Miami Dolphins are the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons. Starting tackle Jonathan Martin has left the team after suffering numerous accounts of bullying. The final straw occurred last week during a team lunch when Martin sat down at a table with his teammates. The moment he sat down, everyone else got up and left. Martin also received demoralizing phone calls from teammates in addition to being ridiculed in practice. The story has gotten only thicker as though through two sources, it was the Dolphins coaches that ordered players to, quote, toughen up Martin through these actions. Aaron Rodgers fractures collarbone. The Green Bay Packers season is now up in the air with a serious injury to their star quarterback. The former Super Bowl MVP fractured his collarbone in the first quarter of Monday Night Football this past weekend. Backup Seneca Wallace came into the game but could not march his troops to victory as the Packers lost to the Chicago Bears 27-20. Rodgers will be out at least 3 weeks, including next week's contest against the Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of the Eagles, Philadelphia quarterback ties NFL record. NFL quarterback Nick Foles threw an astounding 7 touchdowns last week in a 49-20 drubbing of the Oakland Raiders. Foles tied the record held by 6 other players spanning back prior to the Super Bowl era. What was most impressive by the young quarterback is debatable. Perhaps it was his accuracy, as he only threw 6 incompletions and 0 interceptions. Maybe it was his poise, tying a record on the road against the top 10 secondary. Or maybe it was how he threw 7 touchdowns in just 3 quarters. No matter what, it was a historical day for the young signal caller. Boston Red Sox are World Series champions. David Ortiz was the most valuable player in a 4-2 series win for the Boston Red Sox over the St. Louis Cardinals. After being down 2-1, the Sox reeled off 3 straight victories, only giving up 4 runs combined in the final 3 games. In the series clincher, the Red Sox scored 6 runs off of the once playoff undefeated Michael Wacha. This was Boston's 3rd championship in 10 years. The average ticket price to the final game was $1,860. Now, if you think that's a lot of money, wait till you hear this. Ryan Reese wins 2013 World Series of Poker for $8,361,570. The 23-year-old won the incredible amount of money on Tuesday night of the 8-day poker tournament. On the 261st hand, Reese won the competition and immediately left the table to hug his friends and family members. With winning the championship, Reese will be the ambassador of poker for the next year. In the final table, Reese defeated Jay Farber, who can't be too upset with his second-place finish as he walks away with $5.2 million. All right, who wants to join the poker circuit with me?
Oh my gosh, 23 years old and winning $8 million? That's
Unbelievable.
incredible.
I'm actually going to Atlantic City tonight, and this is inspiring. I think I might just have to put all my life savings on red or black or play poker. Poker's tough, though.
Yeah, there's too much strategy with that.
Yeah, I'm better off just letting it all go to fate.
And what I said is funny is second place was $5 million. So
Yeah, can't
that's
be too
amazing.
upset. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
What was first place? $8 million, you said?
$8 million. That's wonderful.
What would you spend $8 million on? Either one of you.
Whole lot of pudding.
All right. Well, thanks for watching RTN News. I'm Caitlin Scott.
And I'm Tyler Mulvey. We will see you next week.